Well, hey, Mr. Dean Evans, Workshop Whisperer, how are you, my man?
I'm very well, thank you.
Mate, I see you get dressed up and put the books up specially behind you for this wonderful, wonderful chat.
I did, that's right. This isn't even a virtual background. This is real.
You're old school. I like it.
Yeah, old school.
Hey, listen, why don't we start so that these wonderful people can learn a little bit more about you? Why don't you give us the 30-second down and dirty? Who are you? What's your business and what are you the best in the world at?
Yeah, business is called the Workshop Whisperer. We help auto repair shop owners, so we're self-employed mechanics, run a better business. We've been doing this since 2014 and we are Australia and New Zealand's #1 business coaching program.
Yeah, wonderful. So if you're the #1, that means you've got plenty of clients. That means you've got plenty of sales. Why is sales probably the most important part of your business?
Well, without sales, you don't have clients. Without clients, you don't have a business. So I can't think of a more important part of your entire business than ensuring your sales pipeline is full and functioning.
Yeah, so true. Now, when you came to us nearly a year ago, can you describe to us? You've had big databases. Can you talk a little bit about how big your databases are? Don't need to say what they are, but how big they are and what you were doing before you started doing outbound with us.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So when we started working with yourself, the database that we knew we had was about 6,000 clients. What we didn't know we had was access to a database of 25,000 auto repair shop owners across Australia and New Zealand as part of a membership group we're in. So what we knew we had and what we actually had were two different things. So that threw up a couple of challenges. One is, well, how do we get in contact with 25,000 people given we just didn't have the capacity in our team to do that? So what were we doing before? We were doing what many businesses and coaches do in this space is, we were running ads and doing emails and hoping, really wishing, waiting and hoping for the right prospect to contact us and say, oh, I really need your help. And in truth, a couple of years ago, that worked. Early stages of COVID and through COVID, that worked. But we'd noticed in the last sort of 18 months that there was a significant decline in the kind of response we got to the marketing material we were putting out to our marketplace.
Yeah, gotcha. And did you have sales team who were trying to do outbound previously?
I think your description of trying to do it is probably very accurate. It was
honest and real.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a large part of their role.
Yep.
Nor was there significant time dedicated just to doing that. So it kind of happened. If it happened as part of their day rather than being a specific and important part of the day.
It's the thing you did when there was spare time, but if I could get out of it, I would. Yeah,
absolutely.
Easy to say. So fast forward over the last 12 months, what has it been like putting a dedicated resource onto your data with one purpose? Picking up the phone and making calls. What has been the difference to, I guess, the system, the mindset, the business, the revenue? Give me a bit of a snapshot.
Yeah. So, well, number one, it went from maybe calling 20 people a week to calling 1,200 a week, over 1,000 calls a week.
Yep.
It has resulted in, and I do have, we've been measuring this we've been measuring the change. So we know that in that time, we've been contacting 1,200 people a week.
Yep.
I guess you asked from the system, we recently changed from a 2-call closing process to a 3-call. Major reason for that is our marketplace tend to be what we call 3 times convincers. The 3-call thing just helps us build trust with them quickly. But what the dedicated outbound caller has done has taken us from somewhere between 15 to 20 discovery calls booked per week to last week where we had 78 booked. So, which is, in the 4 years that I've been here in the business, that is the highest number of booked discovery calls that we've ever had. Now, We also noticed, because we're going to a very cold list, we now have a higher no-show rate for those discovery calls.
Yep.
But the important thing for anyone listening to understand is, but we are now talking, that's okay, because we're now talking to more people on those discovery calls than we ever have before. So yes, we've got, it might seem like, okay, so we have about 50% show up. So let's say it was 80 booked.
Perfect.
Well, we're still talking to 40. So 40 might not have showed up. So it would be too easy to say, oh, well, the system doesn't work. No, we expect that higher no-show rate because we're contacting a cold list.
Outbound. Yep.
If you're outbounding to a warm list, your show-up rate's already going to be better than that. But irrespective, we've gone from talking to 15 to 20 people in a week to talking to 40. So we've doubled the amount of people that we're starting a conversation with. And the only thing that has changed has been that we've implemented a dedicated outbounding call strategy at the front end of our sales pipeline.
Brilliant. Absolutely wonderful. So let me then ask you something. If you're doubling the amount of conversations, like a sales coach said to me 20 years ago, if you want to double your business, double the number of offers you make. Now, I don't need to understand revenues and everything else, but clearly business is growing.
Yeah, business is growing. You also asked, what the other great thing about this outbounder is that it's highlighted other areas of our sales pipeline that we need to improve. Yeah. So if you want to know where your funnel breaks, overfill it. And what outbounding has done is created, what we would call a high quality problem, which is it's put so many people into our pipeline that we've discovered where we've been losing opportunity. And I can't even begin to tell anyone who listens to this how valuable that information is, because we'll do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. And now that we've seen just how much money, revenue, opportunity we've been leaving on the table, it forces one to take action.
Yep.
Because man, when you see that money that you're not getting, along with the number of people that because you're not optimizing your sales platform, that you're not helping as many people as you could, it hurts you in the hip pocket and it hurts you in the heartstrings. So again, the outbounder has just shown other areas of our funnel that have required some upgrading.
What's interesting is when you don't have enough leads in the bucket, you tend to find the reasons why it's not working.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a bucket with not much water in it, you're not going to see where the holes are. You fill the bucket up or start filling it up to capacity, you're going to find out where it's all breaking down. And it's not a bad thing. It's a lesson.
Yeah, it's been a great thing. And we used to think, and it was probably reasonable to say that, we had a lead generation issue.
Yep.
Outbound calling has solved that problem. That is no longer a problem for us. Our problem now is conversion, and give me that problem every day. Because we've got an outbounding, we've got a solution to the lead generation problem.
Brilliant. What would you say the uplift in percentage has been this year from the business growth perspective?
Well, again, because we've discovered an area that's not working as well, it's not as high as we'd like, but we would have seen easily a 30% uplift.
Absolutely brilliant. Congratulations. Dude, that's fantastic. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm sorry to ask you this. If you had implemented this over the last 2 or 3 years before this year, how much money do you think for the last 2 years has been left on the table as a result of just having a big database but doing nothing with it?
1 to 1.5 million.
Yeah, wow. Far out. That's a big number. Sorry.
That's conservative. I'd say that's conservative.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Dean, one final question before I let you go, because I know that you're a busy man. If someone was listening to this who said, yep, I play in the world of service base, I've got a big database, I want to help people grow my business, but I'm just sort of thinking, do I, don't I? I've got a sales team maybe who does closing. What would you say to those people?
Yeah. I heard Jim Quick say to me, say in a room once, the treasure you seek is in the work you avoid, and way too many coaches avoid getting on the phone and talking to a prospect because they're afraid of being rejected and being told no. I can tell you right now, that's exactly where your treasure lies. If you are not outbounding in your business, you are literally shutting the door on the biggest opportunity you have to grow your business quickly. As an example, we have been taking people who have never heard about us to purchasing a $50,000 program in 7 days or less. And if we'd waited for them to call us, we would have been waiting a long, long time versus what we hear, which is, oh, I've been thinking about calling you, or I've been thinking about doing your program. I'm really glad you rang. So get on the front foot, get yourself an outbounder, implement your strategy and start doing it, because it will absolutely get your business going in the right direction.
So true. Hey, Dan, mate, thank you very much for your time. I hope the words that you shared are words that someone else needs to hear, but great to be working alongside you, buddy.
You're most welcome. We're so thrilled that we have you in our team.
All right, great. Have a great day.
You too.